Red Arrows. The Red Arrows have just begun their 6 months of winter training for the 2018 display season.
Weather and diversions, let's just run through it. We're on 22 right hand, surface wind is 260 at 15 to 17.
Martin Pert, Perty, has recently taken over as team leader.
Becoming Red 1 is a privileged moment of my career. I'm obviously exceedingly proud, but now I'm into the role, it's all about the responsibility that I have taking on this iconic part of British history. Typhoon, go.
8, 9.
2 new pilots have joined the team, John Bond and David Stark. Call signs Red 2 and Red 3.
Swan, go.
2, 3.
Excitement and nerves all in one, because it's a completely new skill that we're going to have to try and learn.
Pilots usually spend 3 years with the Red Arrows, each year moving formation position and performing increasingly difficult manoeuvres. So months of training are needed before the team can fly together in their famous 9 aircraft formations.
The training that we have here is a very stepped approach to how we get to those 9 jets. What I tend to focus on for about a month is getting our new boys up to speed. So myself, Red 2 and Red 3 fly as a formation, just to build up the very core. It's simple things like turning left and turning right. Today we'll add 4 and 5 on board, and that is us as a core of what are known as Enid, after Enid Blyton's famous 5. We'll train together for about 3 months before we add any other aircraft.
Up to now, Perch has been teaching the 2 new pilots the basics of close formation aerobatics.
Full off, go.
Today, for the first time, second-year pilots Dan Lowes and Chris Linden-Smith will be flying outside them.
3, 2, 1, hack. Welcome. Here it is then. First trip for Enid. As far as hazards go, it's probably weather is the biggest hazard for us this afternoon, and we will still make a call about whether we're going to go even up to the point of taxi, and if it's just not fit, we won't go. All right, we need to be not below 1,000 feet for all the manoeuvring we do this afternoon, and I'm not going to go if we're at, scrabbling around with a 1,200-foot cloud base.
I'm sure it will be intimidating having the second years on the outside of us, and I'm sure we'll tense up for the first time as soon as we feel them, and I'm sure we'll feel the eyes in the back of our heads.
We will check in on stud 19 at minute 18.
It's going to be a mental challenge for the first sortie.
It is going to be unnerving. I think it's going to be a degree of pressure, not only because of the person being outside there with their experience and their scrutiny, but the fact there's another red jet out there as well that we don't necessarily want to hit at this stage.
And the weather conditions don't make it any easier.
Coming left now.
It's getting dark, and high winds are causing turbulence.
Holding the bank now.
There were challenging conditions for the first 5 ship. Bondi and I thought it was bumpy, but we were swiftly told by 4 and 5 that we hadn't seen anything yet.
It's the sort of turbulence you would definitely have the seatbelt on for in an airliner, for example. So trying to formate in that kind of turbulence is just adding to their complications, because they're not now sure whether they've just over-egged it on the stick or they're feeling chopped.
Just to prevent fatigue, we'll have something called an open up and relax. That just provides a little opportunity for 4 and 5 to give us in the air debrief points that we can fix for the next 15 minutes.
When the boss is flying straight and level, don't try and chase him. Let him meander up.
Outside me with Smiley, and I've got to be a stable platform for him, so he has the absolute right to tell me that I'm not in position or being a bit too violent with the controls.
Go. Flat. Right hand brake. Hey. Right. Braking. Now.
After their dark and bumpy flight, everyone's in need of a cuppa.
It was awesome. It was great to get airborne as a 5 ship. Good to have 4 and 5 outside of us. Good for the experience, but they're going to be whipping us into shape.
I think it's learning the skill for the first time and then having to repeat that, the same time every time. It's just a completely different way of flying an aeroplane, I think.
Now it gets harder, and probably exponentially harder, because I will be asking them every day to be doing something new. So just when they think they've got on top of it, we'll be on to the next formation, we'll be on to the next position.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know, yeah.
More than 100 engineers keep the Red Arrows flying.
Landing gear select down.
Each year, 10 of them are selected to travel in the back seats of the jets to service them when they land away from home. This elite team is known as Circus, and the candidates for 2018 have just been announced.
Attention Rafat, all Circus to the sign-up area. That's all Circus to the sign-up area.
They'll be led by Junior Engineering Officer Lissy Mason. Call sign Circus 1.
So who's been flying before? Who's had a trip?
I did a pack trip in spring off last
Oh
year.
yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah. So who's never been?
I've never been in one.
No.
At all, nothing?
Never.
What about light aircraft? Anything?
Done light aircraft and helicopters.
Cool.
I've just been on holiday.
Looking forward to it? What are you most nervous about though?
What if you did a wee, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not good.
I just really don't want to throw up.
Yeah, that's the main one.
Yeah. So make sure you've got sick bags with you if you're not sure. Again, well done. But the hard work starts now. Cool.
Rose Buchanan is the only prospective Circus member who isn't an engineer.
I'll see you in a bit.
She's part of the photographic team, which films the Reds every time they practice or display. The pilots use the videos to assess their performance, but it's also needed to assist investigators following any accident.
The rest is just waiting. I suppose this is sort of the less glamorous side of the job, but it's good fun and it's practice for the display season. So this is kind of what I'll be doing for the whole year. So it's good to sort of get as much practice in as I can. A couple of times I've had to have a little panic with myself because you just can't find them. But and there's been times where you're filming and the whole time they're just up in the clouds, so you're just waiting for them to reappear. But eventually they do.
Reversing right now.
The pilots have a set way they like things filming, especially when it comes to different manoeuvres. Every now and then they'll call us up as well and say, just for this one, can you do this differently, or can we have it a bit more zoomed out, a bit more zoomed in? It all depends on what they've done that day. So yeah, they keep us in the loop on what exactly they want.
Rose's job is about to get busier, because so far only the 5 jets of Enid formation have been training, but soon the remaining 4 jets will be taken to the air.
We've got JIPO formation down here, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9, who themselves make up the more dynamic portion of the second half of the show, who we can train as a single entity. And when we're ready to put it all together to make the iconic Diamond 9, we'll simply move JIPO up into formation just behind Enid there, making that trademark Diamond 9 formation that Red Arrows are famous for. Within JIPO formation, we have 2 guys who fly the synchronised opposition manoeuvres, who are known as the synchro pair.
The synchro pair perform their hair-raising routine in the second half of the Red Arrows displays, executing extreme low-level rolls and high G turns.
Feet, let's say, and it's
Toby Keeley is just starting his second year with the Reds and has been selected to join Cy Taylor in the synchro pair.
So if you have an emergency that you need to then just call a flight through, I will call 6 to fly it through and I'll take us on crowd. Likewise, if you have an emergency down the line that needs you to fly it through, if you need to escape, then just escape off crowd. Yeah. If you have an emergency that requires, it's just...
In a way, I feel like I've just joined the team from scratch again, because I'm learning these new procedures as well, just like the new guys are, Reds 2 and 3 this year. So yeah, it felt like a first day at school.
Toby has just 5 months to learn all Synchro's daring manoeuvres. He starts with the basics, flying as a singleton, with Synchro partner Cy in his back seat. As a first year in Enid formation, Toby never performed below 300 feet. Now he will be attempting aerobatics with only 100 feet between him and the ground.
And pulling up.
You're really aware of the ground coming up really quickly. When I was 60 degrees nose down, you just had the sense of ground rush coming up to meet you. You think, oh, crikey, the only thing that's going to save me now is just completing the loop. It does become comfortable, but the first time you do it down to 100 feet is pretty exciting. It is great fun. The amount of G-force, you pull a lot more doing the synchro flying, so it's a bit more harder work in terms of physical flying, but yeah, it is good fun.
He's not scared me yet, that's good. Let's hope it stays that way. No, it's been a good day actually. We've got quite a bit of training done considering the weather was quite poor. Ready for a beer.
"20 miles away, the prospective circus members have come to RAF Cranwell. They're here for tests, to check they're fit to fly backseat in the Red Arrows. First stop is the Aircrew Medical Centre. For photographer Rose and engineer John Bayliss, the biggest hurdle isn't proving they're medically fit, but proving they can actually fit into the Red Arrow's Hawk jets. John is 6'6" tall.
I've been up for a backseater in a Tornado and I got up on that okay. That's a lot bigger cockpit, so with the Hawk cockpit I'll be in. A little bit iffy about it.
Do you want to go in this room?
If I could fit in or not.
So if you can back straight against the board, legs shoulders width apart.
A range of measurements are taken.
Sometimes to your left just a little bit.
John can't exceed any of them. John's thigh length is near the safety limit,
All done, right? You pop your trainers back on for us.
but he passes with a centimetre to spare.
Absolutely everything's fine.
Happy days.
At 5'3", Rose has the opposite problem. But some pre-test stretching may help.
I need all the height I can get, so it'll be worth it. The medical is very nerve-wracking. It's the one thing you can't do anything about. Can't change who you are, you can't change what size you are, what shape you are. I just have to remember that at the end of the day there is nothing I can do about it, so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
You need to kind of be in a hamstring stretching position. You need to go back as far as you possibly can. Fantastic. Arms out in front of you, index finger halfway to your thumb. So you
Everything's fine.
can there with your thumbs, and I need those arms nice and stretched out.
Until the functional reach measurement. It's a fail.
Yeah, so functional reach we need to redo.
Yeah,
Repeat what was this one?
Instant fear was going through my mind at that moment. Panic. I did panic a little bit.
Bring your shoulder blades back, alright? Keep bringing them back.
Keep bringing them. There we go.
If you get just your...
Inside.
It's your left that's still in the press.
To keep her place in the Red Arrow Circus, Rose needs to somehow stretch an extra 3 centimetres.
One side, because that side there.
You have to have your shoulder blades on those pads at all times when they're measuring it. If you just don't get your body position right or you don't reach out far enough, you're not long enough, obviously.
Click this one in for me, just with that shoulder blade. And that side, that should be in.
Yeah.
Okay, relax there. 734, bye. Don't be worried then. Sometimes happens when people push them all the way back, they don't realise that they're pushing it too far, and you just need that little extra stretch.
Yeah,
The gap was tiny. It was so borderline. It was really scary, but when they said, yeah, all good, I was like, wow, okay, I can relax now. Instantly, it was like someone had just taken like 3 tons of weight off my shoulders.
It's fine. Absolutely fine.
Back at Scampton, Si has spent a week flying in Toby's back seat, familiarising him with ultra-low-level aerobatics. The time has now come for them to fly as a pair, and Toby will have to execute his first heart-pounding opposition pass.
So the next steps are we'll start pointing at each other down the runway. So that'll be pretty exciting.
Toby and Si will fly head-on with a closing speed of 800 miles an hour and cross just meters apart. Then immediately perform a difficult 4-point roll, crisply hesitating every 90 degrees. The first step is to attempt the opposition pass without the barrel roll.
Should be a good one, this one. It's not a bad job.
Thinking back to last year when I was in Toby's position, it's definitely a point of pride that you think, right, now we can start pointing at each other, and now it feels like you're doing some pretty awesome, pretty cool stuff.
Taxi runway 22.
The new Red 10, Team Supervisor Adam Collins, will be monitoring safety from the ground.
This sort of flying, your senses are on overload.
Threshold! Threshold!
Flying down at 100 feet, pointing towards another jet that's coming towards you at 400 miles an hour, and you're doing 400 miles an hour. It's just really exciting. What shocked me most was the closing speed. This little dot in the background with a bit of smoke behind suddenly becomes very big and rushes past. It does make you jump. It's just excitement, it's adrenaline, ground rush, speed rush. It's awesome.
Threshold! Threshold!
But this is only the first step. Next, Toby has to attempt combining the pass with the barrel roll. Back at RAF Cranwell, Rose's trials aren't over either. The prospective circus team now face the swim test. They need to prove they're good enough swimmers to survive an ejection over the sea. Again, if they fail, they can't become members of circus.
I'm not the best swimmer, but I've been practicing lately, so hoping that it will pay off and I'll be able to get through it. So yeah.
You must swim 100 metres without rest, using any front or side stroke. After that, you get out of the pool unassisted without the use of the steps or anybody else. Are we happy with that?
Once we jumped in the coveralls, I must admit it did feel really heavy. It does make it a lot more difficult.
They must swim 4 lengths. But after only one, Rose is struggling.
Everyone else is so much further ahead, and I did start to panic in my head thinking, maybe I'm not going to finish this.
Team Sergeant Will Allen turns back to give Rose some encouragement.
Will, my hero. When Will came back, I was a little bit embarrassed at the start because I thought, no, I can't be pulling people back, this is not good, this is bad. But actually he was just really calm, and he's helped me control my breathing. He gave me that little bit of a booster to start thinking, no, you'll be fine.
She's finished her swim, but Rose still has to get out of the pool in her wet, heavy flying suit.
I finally made it out. The relief was just unreal. Like, yeah, I was really, really happy.
I am so bad at swimming.
Rose has risen to the challenge.
Threshold! Threshold!
But Toby now faces his moment of truth, combining a low-level, head-to-head pass with a barrel roll. New synchro pilot Toby has been practicing low-level opposition passes. Now, he's taking the massive step of combining it with the challenging 4-point barrel roll.
This time, instead of just flying past each other, just before we're going to cross, we then pitch up and then go into a 4-point hesitational roll in a synchronised fashion. Nice and snappy 4-point hesitational roll, and then keeping it level down the line. So that's the plan for today.
And pulling up.
Tobes has already done the 4-point rolls at low level as a singleton. There's now the added pressure of there being another jet coming in the opposite direction, so it'll be a good one for him to get into, but as with anything, you do it once and then every time after that it gets easier.
Cos is joined by the Red Arrow's big boss, Andrew Keith, known as Boomer. He's come to watch Toby's first attempt at this manoeuvre. Toby and Si break to opposite ends of the airfield. Pulling 6G, they climb 2,000 feet in just 2 seconds. Roll and dive. Accelerating to 400 miles an hour. Pulling out, Toby must align himself on the opposite side of the runway to Si. Si's job now is to fly straight. Toby's job is to miss it.
Oh, go.
Toby's first 4-point roll is too smooth and continuous. He's not happy.
Running down the line, I was probably just late for the input in, and it could be a lot more staccato for the rolls.
So, they reposition.
Probably should be seeing what I'm seeing there now. Oh, go! Nice one, Toby.
Made good progress, actually. You know, self-awareness is key for all of our, pilots, but he's very self-aware, very self-critical, which he should be, but he's picking up on the errors. It's good progress, good learning, so we're in good shape. It's very good.
Yeah, that was just awesome. What a privilege to be able to do that and get paid for it. Yeah, certainly adds an extra element to it, rolling down the runway this time after pointing towards Si. Yeah, that was an awesome thing to go and do on a Monday morning. Thank you. Yeah, it's great fun.
First full run's done?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was looking good actually. The OC was out with me.
Was it?
Yeah,
awesome.
Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. It was all fine actually. Toby did really well. So there's just this is what the tempo will be like now. So 3 trips a day, just fine tuning this such that we can actually then be really consistent, and then that then becomes the norm. What we're doing there becomes dead easy. So then all the other more advanced stuff then becomes the bit that tests you.
The front 5 jets of Enid have also begun practicing increasingly advanced manoeuvres. After some sorties, the Enid pilots can be observed gathering together and performing a strange ritual dance. Bent double, they waddle backwards and forwards. While staring, at one of their jets. Occasionally, they place random items of their clothing on the ground. In fact, this strange activity is fundamental to the Red Arrow's astonishing precision.
This is the references we use when we're flying. So what they're actually looking at is the CFS crest at the front of the intake there. We try and put the wingtip in the middle of that. And then on the back of the wing, you can maybe just see the white flapjacks. Well, on the furthest one in, you can see it's red on the inside, and we actually try and make the letter A there. We will always line up two separate parts of the airplane to make sure that we're in the right position, or we can also judge our length, so being too short or too long, so it does look symmetrical.
By visually aligning agreed reference points, the pilots know they are flying in precisely the right position. If they all fly to maintain the exact same references, no matter what maneuvers the leader makes, the formation will move as one. For different formation shapes, they simply align different references. But when you're upside down doing 400 miles an hour in turbulent air, implementing the theory is a little more tricky. The strange game the pilots regularly play ensures their positioning is inch perfect.
The plan is to keep your feet wide, so you're not looking, you just look at the reference, walk down the reference so you think you're in the right place, and then you put your item on the floor, and then from there we now look and see where everyone else's is. There you go, and I'm actually about a foot long, so I now know on the next trip that I need to probably be a foot further forward than I'm sat, and then the formation should look symmetrical either side.
The other four pilots have reached a landmark sortie, because the synchro pair are going to be joined by final year pilots Mike Bog-Eye Bowden and Matt Masters to create JIPO formation, named after a previous team leader.
This is the first full JIPO flight, so it's the first time we've gone up as a four. We've got beautiful weather outside, so we're going to make the most of it and go and enjoy ourselves on a Friday.
JIPO slope on, go. Synchro roll, go.
These four pilots perform the most technically difficult maneuvers in the Red Arrow's display.
Right, 7, 6, 9. Come on.
For the first time, they're attempting a maneuver where the four jets brake, then approach head-on. They cross, and two jets perform rolls, while two pull into vertical climbs.
7.
The weather conditions seem perfect. But on their third run, Bog-Eye is blinded by the low winter sun.
I had the sun right into my eyes, and it's really hard then to pick out the aircraft ahead and the distance that you've got from him.
So he breaks away.
For everything that we do, we've always looked at a safety case of how we escape from a manoeuvre, the safest way to go, particularly for those opposition passes. We need to know where the other aircraft are going to go if it's more than one aircraft. So we're always putting ourselves into that safest bit of sky.
Regularly making these split-second life or death decisions is part of the job.
First trip, first time we've been up as a four, it's always a bit of a nervy affair.
As you can see with the sun behind us, you're having the similar issues we had in the air. The sun, looking into sun, the visibility was pretty poor, so that adds a different dimension to the whole formation. But it was a great flight all round.
Straight on Twitter, there you go.
Yeah, get it on Twitter, yeah.
The 100 Red Arrows engineers are called the Blues. And traditionally, all the engineers vote for the Blue of the Year, who's awarded a special privilege. This year's winner is Tom Hammond-Haley, an armourer. His job is to maintain the ejector seats.
The ejection seat is sort of there as the final escape call for the pilot if he ever gets into trouble. And they're basically putting their life in your hands, I suppose, every time they go flying, because if they need to eject, then they're basically counting that you've done the job right. And yes, a big responsibility, but it's sort of something that you get used to, I suppose.
Maintaining ejector seats is a highly skilled job because they're complex and potentially very dangerous. A tenth of a second after the pilot pulls the ejection handle, an explosive detonating cord shatters the canopy. More explosives drive the seat up telescopic rails. Then rockets thrust it 200 feet into the air, and the parachute opens. Although Tom can fix an ejector seat, he's now got to learn to use one. Because his reward for winning Blue of the Year is going back seat on a Red Arrows training sortie.
Everyone's really, really happy and excited for me. So got the girlfriend, mum and dad coming up on Friday. So yeah, fingers crossed they'll enjoy the experience as much as I will, because I'm sure they'll be getting nervous watching me strap it in and go flying in a fast jet.
You just want to sit on the seat.
Red 5 Losey is giving him his training.
That's it, and you do that again. Sweet. The bottom line is, don't say the word eject unless you're actually going to do it. So people will say the E word, or if you'd leave the aircraft in a hurry, that kind of thing, but don't actually say it, because that then can spark heckles up on people. Now, if you are in the back and for any reason the pilot at the front is unconscious or has been killed for mid-air collision, or birds come in and knock them out, you will then communicate, I'm ejecting, right? You put your head into the back of the seat, push your shoulder blades back into it as well, push your heels into the rudder pedals, and then put two hands on the one hand with the other one covering on the ejection seat, and then 3, 2, 1, pull the handle. You will then leave the aircraft, and then the process of ejection will happen there.
Awesome.
It's wicked?
Yeah, nice one.
No worries.
Thanks.
Tom's going to be flying with the team leader.
Hello.
Purty.
Morning, sir. You all right? Hello. How you doing? All right. Bad, you? Good to see you. Grab a seat. Grab a seat. Here it is then. Days come about already.
Are they?
Just didn't remember. Well done. All right, the main aim of this sortie is for you to enjoy yourself. Okay, it is a reward for your hard work last year. We'll get the scary stuff out of the way first. Once we're airborne, the feelings will be a bit different. Just keep your hands either on your knees or up on the grab handles, and that'll just make sure that you're not going to conflict with that stick, because I will feel any movements that you make onto that. If we're going to pull some G, I'll tell you it's coming on. You just want to try and, it's almost like sitting on the toilet, just tense your head, but breathe normally when you can. So, so you do need to breathe throughout all of this, because otherwise you will just pass out. Good to go?
Yeah.
Enjoy. All right, I'll see you.
Yes, sir.
See you for the briefing.
Brilliant. See you later.
Take care. Cheers.
Next is Tom's G-suit fitting.
All right, Tom, if you could just tell us when you feel like firm pressure on your stomach, please, mate.
It inflates in high G turns, squeezing his legs and stopping blood rushing from his brain.
How's that feel? That's probably any tighter, is it?
Without the suit, he may black out.
Is that nice and snug? Yeah, excellent.
As he's getting kitted up, Tom's parents and girlfriend Ellie arrive at Red Arrow's headquarters, where Tom's name has been added to the Blue of the Year Roll of Honour.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Blue of the Year. This one presented annually.
Lovely honour.
Yeah, great.
But just as Tom's scheduled sortie time approaches, a bank of fog rolls in.
Oh, look who it is. Hey. Aww.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Okay.
Made it? Yeah, we made it. What's happening? You're not going until 2:30?
Don't know yet, Mum. It's on like sort of weather hold at the minute, so
Oh, okay.
we'll keep fingers crossed that I'll just go up as soon as possible.
Oh, okay.
Only the big boss, Boomer, can make the final decision about Tom's flight.
We're sort of on the cusp, but I don't know if we're going to make it, which is frustrating.
The weather only gets worse.
Tom. Oh, sir. How's it going? Sorry, tried everything we could.
We've hung on till now, but it's just not going to be fit to go flying. The weather's not going to allow, so I'm really sorry, but just today it isn't going to happen. We are going to try and get you back up at some point, probably this time next week if you're around.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right.
So
Keep in touch.
All right. See you in a bit. Yeah, a bit gutted. I was really looking forward to it, but chance is still there, and the wing commander and squadron leaders said that I've no problem getting me back up for another training sortie. So possibly if it could fit me on Monday, then hopefully my parents will still be up and girlfriend will be around. So fingers crossed, I can get it flying then. So wait and see.
It's a blow for Tom because he's got a very special surprise planned once he gets airborne. The weather is forecast to improve, so hopefully soon he can reveal his big secret. After a tense weekend watching the weather forecast, Tom's parents and girlfriend have returned to Red Arrows HQ. The synchro pair have already managed to launch a sortie, perfecting the opposition barrel roll. So all looks good for Tom's flight.
Let's hope the weather holds out this time. We've been kind of looking out the window, haven't we, all morning?
Yeah, checking the weather.
Yeah.
It's looking better now.
It is. We actually saw them up there flying, so that's a good sign.
There's a few sort of nasty looking clouds on the horizon, but if all goes to plan, then take off in about an hour and a bit. So yeah, just gonna go start getting ready.
But just as the bell is rung to call the pre-flight briefing, the clouds open.
Welcome, Tom, visitors. This is the briefing for what is going to be for us slot 4. We're going to brief now, but the weather's obviously looking a bit unfit at the moment. We'll wait for this rainfall to come through, but we won't launch until it's actually fit for us to do some work underneath.
The weather deteriorates so much, the synchro pair are forced to land.
The cloud base is between 500 and 700 feet, but I'm not sure how long that's going to stay that way with the weather coming in. And the viz is now down to about 4 days.
Could someone just have a look at the rainfall radar? Just see how we're doing on that. Tom, you might as well grab a seat. Just make yourself comfortable rather than sweating even more. All right.
That was been a thing of a jinx apparently for the weather.
All they can do now is wait for a possible break in the rain. Finally, there's a glimmer of hope.
Good to go?
Yes.
We're going to go. We're going to go. Is that all right?
See you then.
See you, Tom.
See you, Andy. Sick bags, definitely taking them.
Right, come on, let's go. Time's just the rain stop.
Oh, look at him
Out to the steps. 8. Right. Smoke on. Go. Pyramid. Holding the bank. Now. Tightening.
Oh, they're upside down. Wow. Blimey.
Smoke on. Go. Let's scoping now.
Wow, that was awesome. Yeah, Red One. That's so good.
He's on top 4. He's just taking a few gulps of fresh air for quite a momentous occasion, which is flying with me, obviously.
Tom's engineer friends have gathered to welcome him back. And they've a surprise planned, but not for Tom.
Cheers. How was it? Awesome, yeah, loved it. Cheers. Awesome. Well done, Tom. Cheers, thanks very much.
Well done,
brilliant.
Good work.
Cool. Lovely. Cheers. Awesome. Cheers.
Everybody ready?
Yeah. Els.
Yeah.
What's up? So there's not many things perfect in this world, but you definitely are one of them. And you made the happiest man alive. You've been with me forever, so will you marry me? Running up yourself there. I can see the guy with the sun.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right. Congratulations. Cheers, guys.
How can you do that to me? Did you not know about that? Not at all. No. Oh.
Next time, bad weather pushes the team weeks behind schedule.
The longer we sit on the ground, the more we just sort of tread water.
Everyone heads for emergency survival training. And the new pilots attempt the most dangerous and daunting manoeuvre of them all.
You have no idea how it's going to turn out.